Welcome to this episode of the Mystery Cast right here on Tales of Earth, the show that we live stream every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. our time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
I think it's like 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Pacific. I don't know time zones.
Something like that.
The UK, it's
What
probably
time
like
do we
6
start
p.m.
in China?
On twitch.tv/comicstorian.
9 p.m.
Sure.
With us today, we have the London Hammer.
That's me.
The London Hammer.
The London.
Where can they find you, London Hammer?
Hammer at the London Hammer on Pornhub. No, don't search that. I don't know
Because
what's
you'll
gonna
find
come
him.
up.
He doesn't
I don't
want
know
you to
what's
find
gonna
him.
show up. I am on OnlyFans at the London Hammer. No, I am Danji Producer on Twitter and Instagram and Silu91 on Twitch. Today's a weird day.
It is a weird day. It's almost like
It's Monday.
day. Yeah.
So he's got a
Andy,
case of the Mondays.
where can they find you?
For I Am the Andy on Instagram.
Cool.
I don't have anything funny to say this
No,
time.
Netflix is coming. I talked to
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, okay, cool.
I talked to them. They
I'm actually
They've
already,
got
we've
pretty
already
low
started
standards.
writing season 2.
Yeah.
They've got
Yeah.
really low standards.
They
with
do.
their
what's
shows.
Have you
funny,
seen
you
some of
don't-
their stuff?
Oh yeah, it's pretty terrible now. They're just like more original content.
They're just like, oh, you've got an idea? You're in. Sure.
If you
Why
want
not? How much do you need?
Do you have an approved camera? Great.
You got a smartphone? Cool. Just start recording.
I mean nowadays. My name is Gary. Nice to meet you. You can find me on YouTube at Film Circuit, Twitter at Film Circuit, and Instagram at Northward Films.
That's how
If
he
you wanna-
introduced himself to his wife.
Hey,
My name's Gary. How you doing?
how you doing? And now we have 2 kids, so that went well.
Huh?
What was I going to say? If you want to support us, you can support us by going over to patreon.com/comicstorian, where you can get early access to this show as well as other shows. You can also support us by ordering some Tales of Earth merch, like this shirt, but not these shirts.
No.
These are not
We were
sanctioned
actually pretty
by-
close in colors
yeah.
again.
close enough.
Based
what
on the
else?
camera, we're
What else?
pretty close.
YouTube it, Tales of Earth. I mean, you're probably watching this there, so it doesn't really matter now because you've already discovered it and subscribed. But hit that bell icon. Make sure you get all notifications because now it wasn't enough just to hit the bell once. Now you have to hit it, and then they give you like 3 options as to how many. Yeah, how many notifications. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here with us. Today we are talking about the biggest,
London Hammer.
most notorious government cover-ups ever, and the London Hammer.
Yep.
Brought to us by Rancor, which should be slang for something gross.
Yep. That sounds like you're like, how bad does that smell? Well, it's ranker than
It's
the other.
ranker
Rank.
than that one. Now,
How
are
does
these
this rank?
confirmed government cover-ups?
We don't know, and that's
Okay,
the point.
or are they conspiracies?
Could be
we
cover-ups.
will
Okay,
decide.
The
Gotcha,
thing is,
gotcha,
there's enough ambiguity
Yeah.
that we're not sure if they're still cover-ups or if they've actually been like
I got you.
solved.
Okay.
Number 1 is, of course, the JFK assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I do have a fun list here. This one's kind of serious.
I mean, the JFK assassination is hilarious.
But I'm not even going to try.
Don't demonetize us, please. All right. So it probably goes without saying that the JFK assassination is one of the biggest suspected government cover-ups ever.
That is true, yeah.
U.S. government cover-ups. Whether or not you believe the numerous conspiracy theories, there's a hyperlink there, you probably don't think that the government was completely transparent with the American people. I believe the government is always 100% transparent.
Totally.
They're actually going to build a
In fact, sometimes I don't even know they're there because I can just see right through them.
I can see right through you. Thanks for being so transparent. They're actually going to build a transparent house instead of the White House.
It's just all
Yeah.
glass.
Just all glass.
Just
Great
all
idea.
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not hide who's inside though, so
Exactly.
be careful when you go to the bathroom.
Can you not look and you? I know you're my security detail, but I just
It's
can't.
still weird.
Can you just
Luckily, it's bulletproof glass. Otherwise,
just hold my
you
shirt
just shoot
out?
at the president anytime you wanted
Yeah.
to.
It's bulletproof, but not rock proof. Don't
Well,
throw
no,
rocks
no.
at glass house.
Forget the bullets. Bring the rocks. With theories ranging from the presence of multiple gunmen to a rogue Secret Service agent who accidentally shot the president, it's safe to say I know. That's what I'm
I've
saying.
never heard that one.
Me neither.
Shit.
I've
That was a
never heard
surprise to
that
me
one,
too
yeah.
when I was reading this earlier. So it's safe to say that we'll never know the full story of President Kennedy's end.
I have
Yeah,
this image
Secret
of, like,
Service
I
agent.
got this image of the Secret
So-
Service is like,
Okay,
Did I even look- Jesus.
no. This is a contradiction. A rogue Secret Service agent who accidentally shot. So he was a rogue in another way,
yeah,
and then accidentally.
he was like a badass with a heart of gold. You know, he was kind of like a rogue.
yeah.
But with butterfingers.
Yeah, somebody who was terrible with his pistol.
Oh, my goodness.
My favorite theory about it is
Okay.
that what's the guy's name?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah, that's Lincoln.
That's Lincoln.
Which is what I wanted to say too, and I knew that wasn't right.
Yeah.
So Lee Harvey Oswald was actually working for the CIA. That's
Yep.
my favorite one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had him.
Yeah. They have
Plus,
him.
there is like the second gun. This is one of those ones that honestly, it's been around for so long that no matter what, we will never know what actually happened because
Yeah.
there will always be people going, "No, there's no way
Well, the
that's
thing
what
is-
happened."
Even if they
It's
came out
like-
and was like, okay, this is what happened.
Yep.
We've been covering
Right.
this up for whatever amount of time at this point, 50 years,
Right.
whatever it was.
Right.
This is what happened. You'd have the other group of people who are like, oh, no, that's not really what happened. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way around that.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, that was back in a time when everything was analog.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it was a lot easier to cover up events, like even something that happened like in plain sight. You know,
Nobody had smartphones.
Nobody had
Nobody was sitting there
smartphones. Right.
filming it.
No.
And then, oh, look, there he is.
Right, exactly. So
You
it was a
know.
lot easier to cover up certain events. Number 2, CIA mind control. I think we know where this is going.
Yep.
Yeah.
With
When the
cats.
cold, with cats,
Yep.
laser
and
sharks,
bird drones.
bird drones, all bird. That's also what's redundant. Bird drone. They're all drones now, I guess. So
Well, birds don't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
Neither do
they're
drones.
holograms. We're just like de-escalating the birds until they're just gone and when nobody will. Yeah. Okay, I'm not making any sense.
Nope.
When the Cold War was at its peak, the CIA began testing the possibility of using mind control to create sleeper agents that would infiltrate communist Russia. The project went by numerous names, but the most famous was Project MK Ultra. It involved government scientists using methamphetamine, barbiturates, yeah, LSD, and hypnosis to break down a subject and then rebuild them with very specific qualities. That's better. Needless to say, it didn't work how they wanted it to. The project was scrapped, but not before the CIA director Richard Helms ordered all documents from Project MK Ultra to be destroyed.
See, this just shows how lazy America is versus like Russia. Because here they're just like, oh, they're already adults. Let's just break them down, try and rebuild them. In Russia, they're like,
Raise
oh,
them
they
from children.
just got born. Time to get mind controlled.
Yeah.
Time
Isn't
to become
that-
a spy.
Also, real quick, how much would it have sucked to be in the hypnosis group? You're like, yeah, a little government LSD. Woo! And they're like, all right, today we're going to do a little hypnosis. He's like, damn it.
Like, do I at least get the LSD
Yes,
first?
something. Yeah. I'm like, bullshit.
Andy was a
I
part
was-
of the
I was
study
your-
group.
I was your
and they were
meeting.
like,
I
so
don't
does
know.
anyone want to leave? And he was like, where's my LSD? It's not here.
Yeah,
I'm
all I
out.
got was this government cheese,
Government cheese.
which was a real thing. I think instituted by the Reagan administration.
I believe so, yeah.
So the Watergate scandal, number 3. The Watergate scandal, named after the building where much of the scandal took place, is the most well-known government scandal of them all. The basic story goes like this. Under President Nixon's orders, a group of men broke into the DNC headquarters at the Watergate complex in order to find dirt on the Democratic Party that could be used in upcoming elections. The men were caught and money that they had on them was traced back to a slush fund used by a committee to re-elect the president. Nixon did his best to cover up the scandal and even succeeded for a while, but the entire plot unraveled when a tape was released that proved Nixon was trying to cover up the scandal, and the rest is history.
Yeah, so this one isn't a
It was
theory. This is like
it
an
was,
actual
it was a
thing.
temporary
Caught,
cover-up,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
still a cover-up. Although there are still the missing,
There's
42
some-
minutes
yeah,
or
there's something like that, yeah.
Also,
Oh, the good old days where people were held accountable.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
Let's all bow our
depressing.
heads in a moment, or for a moment. Am I the only person who hears slush fund and thinks of slushies?
Yep.
No, that's what I think.
No, actually,
Every time.
I thought
I
that
thought
too.
it was something. I got a slush
like,
fund at home.
here's
Every time I just go
$10,000
out and get some slushies.
Like, can you add $10,000 to the slush fund?
I'd really like
Are you sure?
slushies.
Yes. Yeah. Add $10,000 to the slush fund.
I
Okay.
always like
I'll be
the
right
Coke
back.
ones.
What?
The Coke slushies
Oh,
at the
those are
movie
best.
theater.
Like, mix a little like cherry and Coke, and it was,
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
it was good. All right, bye guys. We're gonna go get slushies. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
If
a
you
joke.
would like
That was
to
a
fund
joke.
our slush fund, go to patreon.com/comic story.
Slush fund. All right, number 4, Area 51. Because what happens in Area 51?
Stays in Area 51.
Yes. Area 51 has what?
I said, get our shirt below.
Get our shirt below. Okay,
Yes.
I thought you were saying something sensuous to our audience for a moment. He was. Area 51 has. He's like, my shirt will look really good on you. Area 51 has long been considered a mecca for conspiracy theorists. We do travel there on a yearly basis.
It's religious.
It's religious. We just circle the compound. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. What are the chances they shoot at us?
While there have been a
Pretty
few,
high.
while there have been a few legit cover-ups at Area 51, spy plane tests, the SR-71 Blackbird, etc., the Nevada-based government site is still a hotbed of secret activity. It probably goes without saying that we'll never know exactly what's going on out there in the desert, but that won't stop people from speculating. Like looking for gold?
Or everybody just storming the gates until they find the, what was it? The trap spider fields or whatever we were talking about that one day.
Oh, yeah.
The trap spider.
Have we entered
fields.
the spider fields yet?
That should be a thing. Also, I had an idea. I want to get hounds,
Okay.
just so I can say, release the hounds.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Why not?
They're still puppies.
Yeah. Just come over and start licking and playing
We'll
with
be
it.
training them soon. I didn't expect an invader this early.
We're pretty early on their training process, to be honest. They're not fully potty trained yet either.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No.
They disarm the intruders with their adorableness.
Sigma.
Genius if you think about it.
Oh, yeah. Release the other hounds. Oh, no.
like
They've been
that.
taken off guard.
It's like that issue of Suicide Squad recently where Deadshot diffused the situation with Batman by holding up a dog going, "You're not going to punch a dog. Truce."
And he didn't. It
Sure.
worked.
And he
Anyway,
did not
that
punch
works.
That's
the
what-
dog.
that's
Actually, that's
We
a
get to
great
that.
idea.
That's for
You
later,
have two
though.
sets of hounds, puppies,
right.
and the
To
actual
lead you into a
trained-
false sense of security.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once
Then
they're
you
like,
release
oh, it's the
second
puppies.
group of
Yeah.
hounds. Yeah. These ones have lasers on their backs.
Yes. Number 5. The CIA tried to take out Castro.
This is
many
a fact.
times.
Yeah, this is an actual fact. Yeah.
Yes. Or Liam Neeson. That depends. In the 60s, America tried to assassinate
I'm
Castro.
missing the reference there.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Castro, like a younger Castro.
Oh,
And
he
looks
does
just
look like
Liam
I
Neeson.
thought you were like talking about a movie where
I was
Liam
too,
Neeson
yeah, I got really
either was
confused.
trying to kill him or was him, and I was very confused.
Liam Neeson would play both roles.
Liam Neeson versus Liam Neeson.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
That would be so good. In the 60s, America tried to assassinate Castro so many times that
It's
it kind of got out of hand.
They were not good at
Like,
it.
why this? Why this one man? Why are we having such trouble with this one guy?
Yeah, this one dude.
We hardly did this in our own country.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you approve the mission
Right.
and then have it come back false
Yeah,
or
yeah.
negative? And you're like, okay, so we're going to try this again. Everybody on board.
Who we sending this
Don't
time?
send the intern this time, guys.
It's like,
Just
who we sending
frickin-
this time? Gary. Didn't he do it? Wasn't he sent on the third time and he failed? Why are we sending him now?
Well, they'll
You get
never
one shot. You
they'll
don't
never
get
expect
two.
it.
We'll never expect him to try
again.
and do it again.
Try it again.
That's a good point.
So much so that when the information on our many assassination attempts, which included everything from exploding cigars to mafia hits, was declassified almost 40 years after later. That's what it says. It made our government look like writers for Get Smart.
I was gonna say it sounds like a bad spy movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Exploding cigars. He's like, why does this cigar look different from all the others? Why does it say TNT? I don't understand.
So when
Why
you
is Wiley Coyote here in the Acme company on
It's
the
like-
box?
He's like, somebody light my cigar, and somebody comes over and lights the fuse.
It's like, oh, it's a new cigar
But
from
it's
America.
like a really long one.
It's like, he's like, oh, yeah. He's totally on board. And so I'm like, oh, it's a new cigar from America. From America! Number 6. Oh, my goodness. That should be like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Or WB.
The assassination of Castro.
Yeah,
I'd
just
watch
like a
that.
cartoony, the many assassination attempts
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Castro.
That's Castro.
Who else but Castro?
Drop an anvil on him, he steps off to the side.
At that exact moment.
At that exact
Just-
moment. Number 6, the Senate Intelligence Committee report on CIA torture.
It's a little wordy.
Oof. Gross.
Yeah, that was gross.
That was very
I'm gonna
gross.
get the Rona
I
now.
apologize. Yeah, I just spread everywhere. In 2014, the Senate report on CIA detention interrogation program was released after 5 years of preparation. Inside, we finally saw that the CIA had not only been using illegal interrogation techniques, no way, but that those so-called enhanced interrogation techniques hadn't even worked all that well. We're not sure what the government wanted to cover up more, the fact that they'd been torturing people or that it was essentially useless.
Well, I mean,
True.
let's be honest. When it comes to torturing, there is a fine line, as I've learned from many movies, of if you do it too much, you can't trust what they're going to say.
Yeah, they'll
'cause
just say
they
anything to
want
get
it
you to
end.
stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And if you don't do enough, then you suck. Get better, noob.
That's when you send in the.
Just kidding. But I remember seeing the pictures of that where it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah. But I mean, if you really want information from somebody, just send in your token like loose cannon.
Sure.
They'll be
The
just
rogue
edgy
Secret
enough.
Service agent.
Yeah, they'll be just rough enough to like get the information they want because it's always like the loose cannon character who actually succeeds. So
No, they would have to. I always find it's actually the one that just talks so much and
Like,
annoys you.
shut up, I will
so
tell you.
much where it's just like, please stop.
Please stop.
Please
I'll tell you anything.
stop. Just burst my eardrums already.
So
Anything
Ben-
would be better than this.
Ben would
Yes.
be the perfect.
Send Benny in there.
interrogator.
You can hear him coming down the
To
hall.
just-
No.
Oh, he's coming back.
Oh my goodness. Do we have a loose cannon here? You a loose cannon? You're a loose. Okay.
All right, who's the loosest
No,
of
I'm
the
a
Cannon.
tight
Loose
cannons?
to
cannon.
something.
Sorry.
Who's
You're
the
a what?
Said no, I'm a
I'm a pretty
tight
tight
cannon.
cannon. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
tight
yeah.
cannon.
Okay, number 7, the My Lai Massacre. The My Lai Massacre was a mass killing of around 500 unarmed civilians that took place during the Vietnam War. Initially, the massacre was reported as a routine battle, but after a helicopter gunner sent a letter to Congress asking them to investigate the incident, the story blew open. Unfortunately, many military officials still see the My Lai Massacre as collateral damage.
I
Wow.
mean, if you look at it a certain way, everything's collateral damage.
All those innocent people shouldn't have been in front of my bullets.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
My God, Andy.
We are going to get demonetized.
Sorry.
This is
Well, I
probably
mean, how
one of
else
our
do-
craziest
How
episodes.
Yeah.
else do you like? What's the word? I'm
Well,
looking
the,
for?
the
Like-
issue
like,
is, I think it's the
us-
sheer number. I think it's the
No,
sheer
no.
number.
I'm saying like how else? I mean, how else is someone like if for the people who are like, no, it was totally not a massacre. It was collateral damage. Like how else is your mindset going to be then? Well, they shouldn't have been in front of my bullets.
I mean, that's their mindset.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to be like, I was shooting at a guy and
This
then
guy
someone
ran-
ran
yeah,
in
yeah,
front
yeah.
of me.
That does happen,
And
yes.
I mean, it does happen. And that is collateral damage by
Yeah.
definition.
Yes.
But yeah, at some point, it's not collateral damage.
No.
At some point, you're just an ass.
Yeah, like
Pretty much.
You know, they were using all those people as a human shield, so we just started shooting. Like, no, that's not collateral damage.
No.
At that point,
Oh my God.
Number 8, the Siege of Waco.
that's wacko.
Wacko. Most people who are
Wacko
old
and,
enough to remember the
Dot.
Yeah, Yakko, wacko, and dot.
which
Yakko,
they're
Wacko,
remaking
and Dot.
again.
I heard about that.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people who are old enough to remember the ATF's siege on David Koresh's Waco compound know the basic premise of this affair. The government wanted to shut down a cult that was hoarding a massive amount of weapons. But the true story of the siege is way more nuanced. David Koresh and the Branch Davidians had been living peacefully in Mount Carmel for a year when the ATF set their sights on them. But thanks to a lack of planning and poor execution, the ATF ended up with a massacre on their hands. To this day, conflicting reports of what truly happened in Waco abound, and it's likely that the truth will never come out. Yep.
Actually, that sounds familiar, but I actually do not know really anything about that.
It was early 90s, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it was They say cult. It was one of those like commune type of things.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were hoarding a bunch of weapons.
Right.
And so the ATF did a raid.
Now, were any of the weapons
Isn't that-
illegal?
I don't know off the top of my head,
Isn't that
honestly.
Fallout or Far Cry 5?
Yeah,
I mean,
essentially.
kinda,
yeah, actually.
Yeah. That's the idea of a cult like arming themselves.
Yeah. And so the ATF went in as a raid,
Right.
and it, like it says, basically it ended up they basically killed everybody, and there was no like confirmed reports about exactly what happened, what
Gotcha.
led to them having to like kill
Right.
all of
what
the
instigated
cult. Exactly.
or
Yeah, yeah.
escalated the
Yeah.
situation.
the situation.
Yeah.
And I do believe some ATF agents were killed as well. It wasn't just like we sent in 20 guys. They're all
Oh,
fine.
yeah, no, it was
it was like a
mess.
big. It was like a
mess,
big
yeah.
fight or a big gunfight. I don't know exactly.
Oh, I know why I know of it. Isn't that what Joe Exotic says when they're like talking about the cops coming to take their stuff, and he was like, "I'm gonna just pull a total Waco incident in this
Maybe,
place
I
or
don't know.
something."
I
remember it being a super
Yeah.
crazy thing where they were just like, "Holy shit."
Yeah.
I don't know. Number 9, the Iran-Contra affair.
I only know of this because American Dad sings a song about it.
The passcode. Back, forward. What was it? Never mind.
No, that's the Contra code.
Yeah, I know. Contra. Never mind. All right. This
Konami
scandal
code,
from the presidency of Ronald Reagan continues to be one of the biggest cover-ups in recent history. Initially, the Iran-Contra deal began as a way for President Reagan to free 7 American hostages.
Ostriches?
Ostriches.
American ostriches.
Hostages being held in Lebanon by facilitating the sale of arms to Iran. But after the sale was made, a portion of the money went to fund anti-Sandinista and anti-communist rebels in Nicaragua. Even after all this information was released, Reagan's involvement with the deal has remained classified, and the few convictions that were handed down to lower-level government agents were either overturned or the men were pardoned by President George H.W. Bush during the final year of his presidency. Okay,
Isn't Ollie North still in the American government? The guy that, according to the American Dad song, was heavily involved in this. I'm pretty sure he's actually still in
I honestly have no idea.
Oh, I don't know. We'd have to look it up. Number 10, Franklin child prostitution ring. I did not know about this until this list. This is horrifying. This is awful. This cover-up shows how depraved we can really be when we become blinded by absolute power. The Franklin child prostitution ring lasted from the late 80s to the early 90s and allegedly involved members of the Republican Party, including Nebraska FCU branch manager Lawrence King. Allegedly, King transported children of all ages across the country for secret parties where the children would be molested, beaten, and even murdered. When the ring was exposed, the witnesses were deemed not credible, but Lawrence King was given a prison term of 4.5 years for embezzling funds. Our conclusion from that is anyone who
world
thinks
is awful.
I honestly
the world
don't.
is awful.
Yeah, I don't even want to.
He should have gone to prison for life.
Yeah.
For life. And everybody involved should have gone to prison for life.
Yeah.
And there should have been a much bigger investigation to see how they could fight that event, that situation, whatever you want to call it, to make sure it didn't happen again. So, I mean, it goes to prove that there is not a single government in this world that has clean hands.
No,
not at all. I mean, there's not a single human in this world.
That's the problem.
Totally clean hands.
Humans are awful.
Humans are awful.
Humans are.
Yeah. Humans are
Terrible.
terrible.
There's a reason in any sci-fi novel with other races that everyone hates humans. Mm-hmm. And they would be right too.
Like, man, those humans are
Listen,
terrible.
I mean, and I've said this before, because everybody, whether you look on like past crimes from like religious groups or the governments or whatever like that, and people's like, oh, I can't believe this. Like, how can you not believe this? Like, have you seen human history?
Yeah.
Like, and
just
I mean,
look at some of our own government's declassified
that's what I'm
documents.
saying. And just because they're in like, let's say a religious group, a church, the Catholic Church or whatever, or the U.S. government or whatever, foreign governments, whatever like that, they're still people. And
any
people,
organization,
in my opinion, are inherently awful.
Oh yeah, I agree. I was just talking to my wife this morning about like you look at because people, it's like we want communism, we want this, we want this. It's like, well, you look at the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. Mm-hmm. We have as like the foundation of the U.S. government some of the most well written, most beautifully written, and most well thought out.
Problem is, it's all run by people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can have the best foundation for any government.
Doesn't matter.
As soon as you get other people involved, things start falling apart.
Yeah. Plus, there's always that situation of who holds the people accountable that are holding people accountable.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, Anyway, speaking of corruption, number 11, Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove, which I think has been connected to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bohemian Grove, while not one of the U.S. government's most well-hidden secrets, is definitely one of its strangest. Bohemian Grove is a campsite in Northern California that you can visit anytime you like, except in mid-July when it pays host to a 2-week encampment of the world's leaders. There have been theories as to what happens at Bohemian Grove. Stories range from orgies to cannibalism and even satanic rituals.
It's all three. It's a crazy weekend.
Or you can guess what order.
Or it's just a big like joint birthday party.
No. It's orgies.
No, it's
cannibalism,
a joint birthday party.
Oh.
At one point, the Franklin child prostitution ring was even linked to the Grove. Despite multiple investigations, no one's ever truly found out what happens at the encampment. You know what they say: what happens at Bohemian Grove stays at Bohemian Grove.
What is the guard situation like? We could probably break in.
This
It's
is
a
a lot
campsite.
like the Bilderberg Group.
Yeah.
Let's set it up
Where-
with trap spiders.
Trap spiders. Yes. And hounds.
Have fun now, bitches.
And the hounds.
But
that?
they don't get the puppies. They don't
Oh,
deserve the
They don't
cuteness.
deserve the puppy.
They don't
tripped one
deserve
of my
it.
claymores.
The thing about Bohemian Grove is it's all speculation.
yes, obviously, just
100
like the Bilderberg Group.
Just like the Bilderberg Group. Yeah.
The Build-A-Bear
Oh,
Group.
the Build-A-Bear Group. Yeah. That's actually what they're doing. They're going to Bohemian Grove.
Just
because
all Build-A-Bear.
it's the only place where they can build their bears and not be judged.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of like people have even released like footage of Bohemian Grove and its weird cult stuff.
I'm just saying, though, that would be a genius way to send encrypted messages to people through Build-A-Bear.
Build-A-Bear.
And
yeah.
you give recorded voice boxes to the employees, tell them which person to give it to. They build a bear with that in, they take it home, they get their secret message.
That's a great idea. Unless, that could unravel very quickly, and that would be hilarious for
when
a
a
movie.
kid gets it.
When a kid,
Hence the movie
And
we're
it's
currently
assassinate
writing.
Fidel
Yeah.
Castro, and that's why it failed.
And they're like,
Yeah.
he's already dead.
it's like, well, here's your
Doesn't make any sense.
here's your recording voice box. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
That's weird. And it's like, I love you, mommy.
It's like,
Play it backwards.
oh,
There you go. Record it. Make it sound like a normal recording, but when you play it backwards, there's.
I saw
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day of they told this girl to say these things backwards, and she did it so well that they reversed it and you could fully understand what she
wow.
was saying.
That's
And it
impressive.
was one of
That
those
is
things where you're
impressive.
just like,
Are you
how do you
human?
get that inflection properly
She's
to make
Satan.
it sound
Right.
like an
How old was
actual she was she looked like she was in her teens or something.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it was one of those ones where I was like, that is incredibly
impressive,
impressive.
Yeah. Number 12, the Majestic 12. See what they did there. The Majestic 12 is the code name of a supposed secret committee of 12 scientists, military leaders, and government officials formed by President Truman in 1947 under the auspices of recovering and investigating a downed alien aircraft.
I think you mean a weather balloon?
Obviously.
Piloted by aliens.
The alleged cover-up came to light.
Dragons.
By aliens. It's like
It was
what
just
is-
a crash weather balloon.
They were
It just
checking-
happened to be piloted by
The
aliens.
aliens just happen to be checking our
No,
weather.
Can you imagine that? It's like, what is that over there? Oh, that's a weather balloon. What are those over there? Those are aliens.
They were flying that weather balloon.
They're flying the weather balloon.
That would be the best cover-up reveal of all time because they could legitimately say, we were not lying when we said they were weather balloons.
They were just being flown by aliens.
We were just avoiding half the truth.
Yeah. Technically, it's only half a cover.
Yeah, you didn't
True.
ask us who was piloting them.
true.
Balloons.
Not
didn't ask
once
us who
did
was
that
piloting.
question come up during the Q&A.
We would have told you. Transparency and all that.
Yeah.
The alleged cover-up came to light in the mid-'80s when a ufologist received a mysterious envelope that contained pictures of 8 pages of documents that appeared to be briefing papers describing Operation Majestic 12. Cool.
How
All right.
do you become a
What?
ufologist?
I think it's like being a cryptozoologist. You just claim to be one. I can't imagine
Do you
there's
get
a school
paid?
that...
Because I would love to do that if you get paid.
I know, right?
I have a prediction. And you guys, if you want to be on board, you can help us out. 2021. So 2020 is done. We've met the aliens and everything.
We actually survived. Okay.
We survived.
Okay.
2021, Mystery Cast starts its own school.
Okay.
Or does it?
Higher education. Or
a
does
mystery.
it? Higher education at its finest. Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
And we just train cryptozoologists and UFOologists.
Ufologists, all of
I
it.
like it. Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Conspiracy
Or
theorists.
maybe not.
Yep. Instead
Or
of
maybe
the,
we're
instead of the
making
traditional
mind control.
graduation hat, you get your little tinfoil. Like,
Yeah. Can I run
Everyone
defense?
throws it off, and they're like, "No, they can reach your mind."
Everybody freaks out all at once.
Can I be the defense against the dark arts teacher?
Yes.
All right, kids, if you ever run up against a Bigfoot, the best way to defend yourself to him is a 45. Okay, now we're going to do it.
Next lesson. If you
Next
come
lesson,
up on a
if you come
chupacabra,
against- yeah, a 45.
Next lesson, an alien's one true weakness is a 12-gauge shotgun.
you're just teaching people how to shoot guns.
Yeah, pretty much at that point.
Oh my goodness.
No, against chupacabra, it's a machete.
Okay. I see what you're doing. You got a real like Sam and Dean
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing
yeah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
here. Yeah. All right, number.
And if it's Nessie, just stay on land.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
I
That
really-
stupid sea monster can't even get out of the water.
And if it can,
Run.
well,
You probably want to run. It's learned how to
it's
walk
pretty
on
big.
land.
So you may be screwed.
Actually,
Actually,
it's
just give
evolving.
it 350. Give it 350.
Tree
That's how you save
tree
yourself
fitty.
from
Tree
Nessie.
fitty. What's
Just
tree
throw
fitty?
tree fitty
What's
at
tree
it.
fitty?
Run.
$3.50. So
Giving you no 350 Loch Ness Monster.
then I realized that Girl Scout. Anyway, that's a classic.
Oh man.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Whoever
South
actually
Park's
wants
Prime.
whoever actually wants a mystery cast school, please leave us what you want in the comment section below. Dark arts. What would you do? Potions?
Posh.
I don't know.
He's just like cracking a beer. It's just, all right, if you're gonna be hunting, you gotta get drunk.
I'm going to teach you how to utilize trap spiders and hounds to protect your property.
No, you would be the like the ground, not the groundskeeper, but like
Groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah, groundskeeper Willie. Like the person who manages.
Scott's ruining Scotland.
You would be the person who manages like wild game and like animals and creatures.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
You're like
Hagrid.
Hagrid. Yeah, there you go. I like how our
But you still open all your classes with a beer.
I like how our cryptozoology has just turned into Hogwarts.
It is. We're gonna buy a castle in Scotland.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they're down for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
why not? I mean,
yeah.
they already got
Actually, we'll
Nessie.
do it in New Jersey just because
That makes
cheaper
sense.
taxes.
Yeah, it's true.
Plus, no one
Jersey Devil.
goes.
Jersey Devil. Yeah.
That too.
He'll teach a class.
That's the final. You have to hunt him.
You have to hunt.
You have to hunt the
It's,
Jersey Devil.
it's extra credit.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're about to fail class. If you can catch.
So we get okay.
This is a brilliant
Jersey
idea for a
Devil.
series. by
Oh,
the
it
way.
is. So we get property. All right.
Right, I'm with you.
We're okay. Copyrighted. This idea is copyrighted. Don't
Yeah.
steal this.
Please.
So we get enough property. We got our dark forest area.
Yeah.
But we had to plant it ourselves. So for the first like 15
It's
years,
more like a
it's
dark
just
grove.
baby trees. and to all of our new students, do not enter the dark forest.
It's like that.
Well, I mean, mostly well lit forest, but you know.
Yeah.
People
We'll get there.
show up and they're like, "What is this? A forest for ants?"
Actually,
Yes.
yes, it is.
Technically,
I love this idea.
this is
I love
genius.
it. Okay, number 13.
I'm pretty sure this is just the X-Men though.
I think so.
Yeah,
It's the X-Men minus the powers.
Yeah. Unless you count gunfire up power.
They
I
should
have
choose
the
houses.
power of automatic.
What's number 13, Gary?
Number 13 is HAARP. HAARP. I see what they did there.
Just don't harp on it.
HAARP was an ionospheric research facility in Alaska, and the scandal surrounding it remains one of the most widely contested government cover-ups ever. Theorists debate not only the function, but the necessity of having a high-frequency active auroral research program. Some people believe that HAARP is a secret military weapon, while others believe that HAARP technology is being used to trigger floods, major power outages, and thunderstorms. Tidbit. This was believed to be technology based on Nikola Tesla's designs.
Oh, they even included
Yes.
his off switch.
Which is the hammer in the case.
They have one guy and they're like,
Oh, man.
"What's my job? You turn things off." "Well, how do I do that?" "Here's the hammer."
Good luck. This is a big facility.
Yeah, so basically this is like right along lines of like chemtrails and
Yep,
things like
yep.
that. It's one of those like they're controlling the weather and like climate change is because of HAARP. Anyway. Number 14.
Therefore, you just admitted climate change is real.
No.
Exactly. 14. The plot to take out Hitler. Like the many plots to take out Castro, America tried to kill Hitler so many times that you'd think we were living in an episode of Hogan's Heroes. The main plot is often referred to as the July 20th plot or Operation Valkyrie.
I know that.
And the aim was to use members of Hitler's own party to take him out. Then, the U.S. would assume power from within to create peace between Germany and the Western Allies. Unfortunately, the plot failed, which led to the arrest of at least 7,000 people by the Gestapo.
Oh, I thought I was going to say the plot failed when he did it himself.
I mean...
No, this was a while
No,
before
I know.
this
the war
was-
ended.
yeah,
Yeah,
in the
I
thick of the
remember.
war.
I feel like there's a movie
They-
or
yeah,
something about
Tom Cruise
Operation
did a movie.
Valkyrie. Yeah.
Tom Cruise did a movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
The main
I
issue-
totally forgot about that movie.
Yeah, the main
actually.
issue for this was that like everything had to be specific
Yes.
And it was like the one day Hitler decided to change his damn schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah.
something by just a few minutes.
Yeah, it was literally like a minute or something like that. Yeah. And it just
My
didn't work out.
goodness. Yep.
That's why you don't plan things to a T.
True.
I think they said this could have ended the war like 2 years early or something like that.
I mean, as far as we
Would've
know,
been
it's just like that's
interesting.
that's the running theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 15, the Teapot Dome scandal. In the early 1920s, the Teapot Dome scandal rocked America when it was revealed that the second. That's where my mind went. I paused for a second. I was like, I'm not going to say it, but you said it. It was revealed that the Secretary of the Interior had been leasing Navy petroleum reserves at super low rates without competitive bidding. The Secretary was sentenced to prison for accepting bribes, but no one was ever convicted for paying those bribes.
You
Probably because they paid them. Yeah.
Okay. What about the people who paid the bribes? No.
They're the ones with the money.
They're good.
So
They
you see
actually
where we're going
bribed
with
them
this.
to
Yeah. Oh, I could
Exactly.
give you a 20 and we could call it a day. And he's like, well, I could use a 20.
I could use a 20. I was going to take the missus out to a movie later, so
This is nice.
yeah, out to the cinema.
I mean, back then they could
yeah,
go to the
That's true,
theater,
20,
have
yeah.
dinner,
Yeah, that's true. That's a
could do
good
a lot.
point. Yeah.
yeah.
put their kids through college.
Ye old college. It's okay.
You
Andy.
son of a bitch. In a world where Andy's a son of a bitch. Or maybe not.
Or maybe.
His mother's actually quite a nice woman.
Because she took personal offense to that statement.
Yep.
She's like watching the show. What the hell, Dan?
Number 16, Track 61. This is something I did not know existed until this list. I think it's hilarious. Not hilarious. It's really interesting. Throughout the 40s, there was a secret railway to Grand Central Station that catered to FDR and any VIPs who were deemed special enough to use the train.
That's cool.
Secret train.
That
will-
one
that will
I
take
could
us
see
to-
being very real, actually.
Yes. And we are going to commandeer and buy Track 61.
That
and
sounds
that
like
will be our
a-
train to our school.
That sounds like
Ooh.
a fantastic movie name. Track 61.
That's where all the deals happen. It's on Track 61.
And we'll have like an old timey like luxury car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And a
And they'll
snack
have
lady
a theme
Yeah.
song.
with a trolley.
Track 61. You're
Okay.
welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome,
welcome.
San Diego.
It's like a super serious like spy movie, but it's like
Just in the background. Whenever they're on the train,
You got one
that
guy,
is
like,
always
singing to
playing. And
himself.
it's very elevator music
Yeah.
style. Track 61.
Number 17, chemtrails. What would a discussion of government cover-ups be without the mention of chemtrails? Allegedly, the contrails left behind aircrafts when they fly across the country contain biological agents that have harmful effects on the general population. Chemtrail truthers argue that normal contrails dissipate almost immediately, while the spooky chemtrails take much longer to go away because of all the chemicals.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Despite multiple debunkings and the
Science.
government's denial of using contrails to dose people with something, people still believe it's something. Okay. With something, I see. People still believe it's a cover-up.
Guys, the government denied it.
Therefore,
I just love
It's-
this
we're
one
good.
because it's like, our government's doing this. Yes, literally every government in the entire world,
Yes.
because planes go over.
Well, that's
all
because
the
we're being
country.
controlled by one
Right.
central government,
right.
ruled by the Illuminati
Yeah.
from Area 51,
Or maybe not.
where they also have alien-piloted weather balloons.
Yes. Yeah. I've always thought the idea of chemtrails was kind of absurd because even if you're dumping these chemicals out in the air, that plane is so high up.
Yeah.
It's going to be caught up by so many like layers of wind and air and atmosphere. It's never going to reach people below.
And you know what? If you really believed that, why did no one take precaution and wear masks if they truly believed in it?
True.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you really believe that they're putting chemtrail, because that was the funny thing about
They're
that.
dosing our
Everyone's
coffee, people.
exactly. They're like, "Oh my gosh, they're doing chemtrails. What are you doing about it?" Nothing. But they're doing
I
it.
fire my
It's
rifle at the plane.
That's most people's attitude, though.
Yeah.
Like, I have this great outrage toward this great injustice.
This is an awesome.
It's like, what are you
is
doing
an
about
awesome
it?
picture.
Well, I'm talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Project
drink my own urine.
Okay.
I can't trust any other source.
So there's that.
Number 18, Project Serpo, which is, until this list, something I never heard of. It's really interesting. Put your tinfoil hat on for this one. Project Serpo is the name of the alleged top secret exchange program between the United States government and an alien planet called Serpo. The planet is supposedly the home of the Greys. If you click that link, we're not responsible for the rabbit hole you'll go down, and the place where 12 members of American military personnel visited between 1965 and 1978. 12 members of the American military. That's like a small club now. Like, you've been to Serpo? I've been to Serpo.
No way, I got the pin and everything.
You're Serbian? I'm Serbian.
I'm Serpo.
Did you hit the gift shop on the way out? I got this t-shirt.
Yeah, I went to Serpo and all I got was this t-shirt. Since then, all of the party have perished, supposedly from the effects of high radiation levels from the two suns of the planet.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
kind of a Tatooine thing going on.
Yep. They get there. Wait, what years was it? 1978. Okay, so Star Wars would have just come out.
Yeah.
One of them had to have been a fan, and he gets out there and he just starts humming.
What if George Lucas went there?
What if he's from there?
He's Serbian.
He's Serbian. Not Serbian. That's different.
Serbian.
different.
Serbian. Pronounce
With
it
a
with
P.
me. Yeah, enunciate.
I'm sorry, did you say your name is Serbian?
Serbian.
This is my cousin, Sir Poopin.
Serbian. All right, we actually have enough time for another list. This one's hopefully a
goodness.
little more lighthearted. It's from Cracked.
that one was pretty
it's
lighthearted.
From Cracked. So
It's from Crack?
Cracked.
It's Crack.
The 5 dumbest cover-ups by the people in charge. The reason I chose this list was because I wanted something lighthearted to end the show with.
Sure, yeah.
Because a lot of these were very serious. And
Yeah.
while this is
Dark
a show,
as fuck.
yes, and while the show is the mystery cast, I also like to have some levity. All right, so the 5 dumbest cover-ups by the people in charge. Number 5, the New Zealand government sent a would-be assassin on a kayaking trip.
Well, you gotta go on a nice vacation before.
Yeah, you need a break.
Yeah.
You look like you. I mean, you've got trigger finger.
Yeah.
Like
That rogue Secret Service agent
With the butterfingers.
with the butterfingers.
Oh
Sorry, go
ahead.
So in 1981, 17-year-old New Zealander Christopher Lewis took a rifle, climbed to the 5th floor of a Dunedin office, and tried to assassinate Queen Elizabeth II. But the shot went wide, real wide, so wide that the Queen didn't even notice. So instead of creating a fuss,
He's like, I'm really off right there. I don't know. She's like over here.
doesn't look
He
like
has
the
a
Queen.
lazy eye.
Yeah.
He was like, I was looking right.
You're
at
really
it.
bad if the person you're trying to shoot at has no idea.
Oh my goodness. So instead of creating a fuss, the ever-polite New Zealand authorities simply decided not to tell anyone.
Well, I mean,
After-
technically he didn't do anything. He shot near-ish her, I suppose.
It's like, did you attempt to kill the Queen? I don't know that would really qualify
Define
as an
attempt.
attempt.
Yeah. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and define
Fine
attempt.
So instead of, after all, if Her Majesty found out they let some corgi-hating maniac almost kill her, she might not want to visit again. So began the most genteel cover-up of an assassination attempt in history. Somehow the police managed to convince 1,000 witnesses that the gunshot had been a falling street sign. It's like, and I'm pretty sure that's a bullet in that wall there.
No. That's from the street sign.
They then easily apprehended Lewis, and to keep up appearances, only charged him with possession and illegal discharge of a firearm. Court reports failed to mention he had illegally discharged it at the Queen's face. Well, not really, I mean, but the government quickly discovered that keeping their adolescent assassin quiet was going to be harder than expected. A mentally ill white supremacist, Lewis believed he was part of a non-existent Nazi militia led by, quote, the Snowman, and that he had been selected to assassinate the monarch in Operation...
Yes, what is the operation?
Yeah. Operation.
I'm sorry, Gary. What is the
I don't
operation?
think it's...
Nope.
No,
What's it say?
what is it?
What does
What
it
is
say?
it, Gary? Go ahead.
Come on.
For posterity.
Butchqueb.
No, it's
No.
not.
Nope.
If someone
does
needs
this
to
say?
look up
I don't
his
think it's English. I don't
operation-
think it's English though. So
I'm pretty sure that's English.
that's
I'm
English.
pretty sure
Yeah.
you can pronounce it.
Yeah,
at
go ahead.
least.
I'm not gonna do it. You can't break me. You can't break me.
If you don't, I'm going to
can't
do
break
ab
me.
exercises the rest of the time.
ASS Queb.
Close enough.
You're not breaking me. You're not breaking me. So
Real quick question. Isn't the Queen white?
isn't England predominantly?
Yeah, so why was the
Or
white
was.
supremacist group trying to kill
Obviously,
the
he's
monarch
not,
of
he's
like one of
not
the
all
whitest
there.
nations?
Well, I mean, they're not Just white.
No, I know.
They're actually
but-
only like 40% now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but I don't know, just the thought process, because I mean, she's also like really old.
It's probably the
Yeah.
thought process of.
I mean, it was
the
Operation Ass
you're
Queen,
allow-
so
Clearly he's probably looking at it as, oh, you're letting all these
yeah.
people in
But
your
this was also
country.
in the 70s, though. There wasn't.
Yeah.
Clearly, I
She's
mean, it
younger.
even said he
Yeah.
was mentally deranged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all we know, they told him that she wasn't.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was like, I don't know.
I could see it.
But, okay.
All right,
As long as I get my kayaking trip.
that's all that
Oh,
matters.
My goodness. They decided to lock him away in a mental hospital, but it wasn't enough. When Lewis found out that Prince Charles was visiting New Zealand in 1983,
He's like, I'm trying it again.
he attacked an orderly with a knife trying to break out. The cops even found plans to murder the prince hidden in his room. And since this was a mental ward, we don't want to know what he wrote them with.
I would have
Ooh.
said, see, I was going to go with it was just a drawing in crayon, and it was like a stick figure of the prince and a stick figure of Lewis aiming the rifle, and then the bullet like actually
This
hitting
is
the
his
prince. This is
plan.
it.
A decade passed.
And everywhere around him, it said, don't shoot
Don't
here.
shoot here. Yeah.
Don't shoot here. It's kind of like when you get surgery
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like one of your legs and you have to write on the other leg, not this leg. You
True,
actually
true,
have to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
and
Not this leg.
I've had to do that before. and
A decade passed during which Lewis went from Nazism to Buddhism and from dissident to plain old crazy criminal. But when the Queen planned to visit again in 1985, the government took no chances. Police went to his domicile, told him to pack a bag, offer no resistance, and come with them on a fabulous 10-day all expenses paid vacation to the remote Great Barrier Island. Wow. There, Lewis and his girlfriend...
How crazy must she have been?
Did she exist?
Wasn't he
Wow.
in custody this whole time?
No, apparently
Spent
not.
the entire time
He was,
blowing
he was
tax-
dating his guard
That's what it
Spent
was.
the entire...
that he pulled a knife on.
So we got like a Joker Harley Quinn thing.
Yeah, kind of going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spent the entire
Exactly.
time blowing taxpayer money on fishing and kayaking. He even wrote that he almost felt like royalty, which in retrospect could have been a suicide note. But you can't keep this kind of dumbing conspiracy a secret forever. Or bumbling conspiracy. The cover-up was partially exposed in 1997 by a former cop, but the New Zealand government only admitted to it in 2018 after Stuff wrote an expose on the whole ridiculous affair. As for Lewis, well, he gave up trying to assassinate royals and mellowed out a bit, I would say, by which we mean he robbed a bank with a ninja sword, led police on an epic chase into the outback, jumped a 30-foot gorge with his car, and finally escaped capture by clinging to the underside of a bus for 200 miles.
This dude sounds like a
So
badass.
when is this going to be a
my
Netflix
I know.
documentary?
This
Goodness.
needs to be one.
Project
Good.
Asqueb.
That's what you call it. Project Asqueb. Or no, the show is just called Asqueb. Asqueb. Starring Tom Cruise,
Starring Tom Cruise. Oh, yeah.
who does his own
As
stunts.
himself.
He actually holds onto the underside of a bus for 200 miles in the movie.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? I'm all right.
I'm good.
What were you going to say?
No, I definitely could see him.
I would watch that
actually.
movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would watch that documentary.
All right. I like the way they ended that. I always loved the way Cracked wrote their articles because they leave the best for the last.
Yeah.
Number 4, Universal Music didn't let artists know their music had been lost in a fire. Like, where's my album? What album?
You never sent it to
You
us.
never
I'd never seen you before in my life.
As they
It's
say,
like Beyonce.
in 2008, a huge fire erupted at Universal Studios Hollywood in Los Angeles. The flames coming from the animatronic King Kong ride were so intense that they melted parts of the fire trucks. Firefighters spent so long subduing the blaze that they had to pump the lagoon from the creature from the Black Lagoon ride dry because they ran out of water. The whole scene sounds like it was pulled right from a movie itself. It's just too bad it was lacking a soundtrack since all the good music had gone up in flames. See, Universal Studios was also the home of the Universal Music Group's Vault, which contains a priceless collection of master tapes from legends like Aretha Franklin.
well,
Ella Fitzgerald-
contained.
Contained, yeah.
At one point.
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong and Limp Bizkit. Time will cement their place in history.
Yeah,
Or
that's
it
right.
used
It
to-
goes to Aretha Franklin, Louis Armstrong, Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
Everybody knows that.
or it used to contain them. Every single one of the roughly 500,000 4,000 original song titles in the vault went up in flames. And because Universal preferred to not get slapped with 500,000 lawsuits and contract disputes, they decided to keep it quiet.
That'll be fine.
Isn't that my music going up in flames?
No.
While privately acknowledging the loss in the fire was undoubtedly a huge musical heritage, Universal went to great lengths to pretend it was not that big of a deal. In public, UMG only admitted to losing a handful of tapes from artists nobody remembered anyway. Plus, all those... Limp Bizkit.
Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, Louis Armstrong.
Limp Bizkit will be rediscovered in about 20 years. Everyone will think they're genius.
Nostalgia.
Classic music.
Yeah, it's true.
Plus, all those tapes had been backed up elsewhere. In fact, not even 10% had been digitally copied. Oh.
Yeah, that's bad.
And when artists like Steely Dan and Bryan Adams started getting suspicious, Universal gave them the old runaround, switching tapes, lying to their sound engineers, the whole 9 yards.
Bryan Adams, never heard of her.
Hold on. Is that supposed to say plus all those tapes had not been backed up
Yes.
elsewhere?
Yeah.
Because
In fact,
says
not
that
even
they
10
had. Well, because it says that they had been
Sorry,
backed up.
sorry. In fact, not even 10% had been digitally copied.
But like the sentence says
this
that
says
they
had
had
been. No,
been
it
backed
says
up
had.
elsewhere.
Plus, all those
so-
tapes had been backed up elsewhere.
and then they go, but not even 10%.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Oh,
wait,
okay.
had
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
back
I would
it
assume
up,
it means
or-
hadn't.
Probably
Yeah.
hadn't. Okay.
Yeah.
The cover-up worked for years, but UMG made two mistakes in 2014 when Universal Studios was split from the rest of the company in an acquisition. The greedy record group sued the estranged studio for destruction of property, creating a lot of incriminating paperwork. Even more harebrained, UMG then fired its chief archivist, who simply walked that paper trail straight to the New York Times. The newspaper exposed the disaster in June 2019, and the suing hasn't slowed down since. That's the fire.
if
It's
if
huge.
you're like the head guy who 100% knows that all of this stuff was burned and you guys were covering it up, I wouldn't have fired him.
Yeah,
That
no.
guy would, to me,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
I am set for life.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Are you going to fire me? No.
Didn't think so.
Or at least give him a little LSD to break him
something.
down.
Hey, guys,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
pooped on my floor in my office? Oh, you going to fire me? No.
I'd be coming every day set. Park it in the president's
you don't even
spot.
need to work
care.
anymore, yeah.
I wouldn't even do anything.
Number 3, Peruvian police invented a gang of human fat thieves to hide their own corruption.
That's an odd sentence.
Fat thieves.
Fat
They would run up to people and
thieves.
I got your love handle.
We only steal fat people. It's harder.
It takes
It's a lot slower. And we need a bigger van.
But luckily,
but
they have trouble finding back.
yeah, they can't run away very quickly.
We just roll them.
That's terrible.
What?
That's awful.
You remember how
Should
earlier
this
in the
episode
show
even
we
go
said?
on?
Remember how earlier we said humans are terrible people?
No, well, here we are.
Or maybe not.
Number 3. Okay, so one day in 2009, Peruvian police announced they had broken up a notorious trafficking ring. And here's the terrible twist. They weren't trafficking but blubber. Okay, I thought for a moment I was like, butt blubber. According to the cops, this bloodthirsty band of ghouls were murdering people up and down, how would you pronounce that? Huánuco?
Sure.
Huánuco province solely to extract their fat. These lipids were then bought for $15,000 per liter by a mysterious high-end European skin cream manufacturer.
Why is that still not an option?
Because they believed mixing
Way
human
better than
fat.
selling kidneys.
I mean, yeah, just sell your fat.
I'm cool
Because
with it. I
they
know a little
believed-
bit of extra in the middle nowadays.
I'm gonna
I can
look
make a
into
little
this.
bit, yeah. I could probably get a liter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
So-
get a liter.
So how do you make your living? I eat donuts.
you know, yeah, I
And
like.
then I donate my fat to skin cream companies.
I could
Because,
15,000 for like a liter of my chub. I'm
So
fine with it.
because
take
they
it out of my
believed-
ass. I don't care.
because they
Shut up,
believed
shut up.
mixing human fat into their products could
Not that
reverse the
one.
aging
Maybe not
process.
that phrasing.
Yeah, no.
Oh, lordy.
Police recounted in great detail how poor innocent country folks were chopped up into pieces. Their severed torsos hung above it,
Yeah, it's
hung
pretty-
above lit
pretty messed
candles
up.
for days. Gross. Their fat dripping into containers like they were on a George Foreman grill.
In the Zodiac Killer's
Yep,
house.
Yep. To seal the deal,
So
police
descriptive.
showed off a blurry photo of a decapitated head as well as 2 bottles of Inca Cola, now with 12% less Conquistador. Who wrote this? This is disgusting. Filled to the brim with a thick yellow liquid they claim to be farmer fat. We are not making this up, said the lead prosecutor.
All right. Anybody who says we are not making this up, they're making it up. Just we're clear on that.
That's pretty much what the article says.
Yeah.
We have 5 minutes left. Let's get on to the next one.
It's kind of like
That's
when you
disgusting.
go,
That's disgusting.
no offense, but
I'm going to offend you. Would I lie to you?
With all
Yes.
due respect,
Yes, I would.
I'm about to disrespect you a lot.
I'll just tell you, if you're planning on lying to someone, tell the truth in a sarcastic tone.
It's true. They won't believe you anyway.
And then you can always say,
True.
you told the truth. Because you did.
Son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
Before the show ends, you need to tell us your theory about 2020.
Okay.
Dragons.
I thought I did.
You touched on it.
Ew.
Or maybe not.
Okay.
Or maybe not. I don't think you actually went into detail.
Okay. Sorry. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so number 2, a surgeon accidentally cuts off a man's testicle, tries to convince him it just got smaller. In 2014, Dr. Marwan Farouk of the Kilturn Hospital in Buckinghamshire, England, was operating on a patient to repair his hernia and removed a cyst near his right testicle. But it must have been too close to pub time because instead of carefully removing the cyst, Farouk lopped off the entire ball. Maybe Dr. Farouk
Just easier that way.
had caused to sever the testes, something easily verified by sending it to the proper lab for investigation. But that sounds like a lot of hassle. So he told his attending nurse to chuck it into the nearest medical waste bin, preferably with one hand while yelling, "Jordan." When the patient woke up,
I love the writers of this article.
Farouk decided it best, easiest,
Kobe.
not to inform him of the unforeseen
Lay away. Or fade away or whatever. I don't know.
How would you orchiectomy, attributing the man's slightly unbalanced feeling to him having an unusually small right testicle.
I don't know.
all
It
of a
feels like
sudden.
I'm missing a ball. I don't know.
Why do I feel like I keep tipping to one
I just
side?
feel like my left side's a lot
feeling
heavier than my
really
right
up.
side now. For some reason.
But a man will only buy that explanation for so long until, for one reason or another, he finds cause to check.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's like, a year later, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should touch my testicles.
Maybe I should touch my
Make
testicles.
sure they're still there.
Oh man!
I check at least once a day. You never know.
I checked them before I came to work.
For his
Twice
Gordian
since.
knot approach, Farouk was dragged in front of a medical tribunal, which ruled that the doctor had embarked upon a series of deliberate acts designed to cover up the fact that he had made an error. I'd call that an error. And so, for messing with a man's scrotum, he was given the sack in 2016. He deserved that pun, but you, gentle reader, did not.
I mean, I will
man.
give the guy credit. I'm assuming the guy didn't say not this testicle when
Probably.
going into surgery. So, I mean, it's a little...
I mean,
fault really was
Your
it?
Honor, show me on the paperwork where it says I can't remove this testicle.
I rest my case. Number
I'll
one.
show myself out.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't going to be another cyst.
Yeah. It's just easier to get rid of the whole damn testicle.
It would have been great if that entire thing, the cover up was they tried to convince the guy that he never had two testicles.
Yeah,
to
he's born
begin
that
with.
way.
You didn't-
As
you
you can
don't
see
remember-
from this document.
You don't remember this?
You know that cyst we removed?
I also paid his
Nope, that-
mother $30,000 to insist that he never had two testicles.
It's like, but Mom,
I swear. She's like, no,
I
I'm
do.
telling you.
you've been making this up. We tried to tell you that you were making it up all your life. He's like, I've never talked about it until now.
Everybody's only got one.
All right, so
These lies keep getting more
Did you know
elaborate.
Okay.
Okay. Woo. Okay, number one, a U.S. general was dismissed for trying to clean up a pee scandal. In April 2019, the head of the
Oh
California...
my God, this was recent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The head of the California Air National Guard and
Yep,
another
that
senior
makes sense.
officer were relieved of duty for failing, quote, to maintain a positive command climate. But there was something more sinister at the heart of their dismissal. A tangled web of intrigue, reprisals, and false flags. And urine.
No, that's not what it says.
No.
Read
You guys
it.
are not going to break me.
Read
I'm
it.
not gonna break
and
me.
work out.
You
I
know,
think
you guys
need
know
to
me.
respect this writer.
Lots and lots of urine. I'll spell it. P-I-S-S. 4 years prior.
IPPI, Mississippi. You're welcome.
4 years prior, Jennifer Pineda, a staff sergeant with 15 years of service, woke up to find her boots filled with urine. And it actually does say urine. even though she specifically requested pee-free boots on the turn-down service sheet. Panetta reported the incident to her superiors, Major General Clay Garrison and Colonel Sean Navin, who promised to launch a thorough investigation. But Panetta was later told that the investigation had turned up zilch, and that the commanders had decided to destroy all of the evidence, including the samples of urine that were supposed to be tested for DNA. Then a second investigation was launched after evidence came to light that on the night of the...
Come on, you have to say that. It's a
urinating.
funny word.
You
It's
say
not.
it.
Pissoning.
It's the
Yes.
pissoning.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
guys
like a
know me.
bad
I don't
word.
use these words. I just don't. A group of airmen had been drinking heavily in the vicinity of the boots. Among them was none other than, dun dun dun, Colonel Navin. At that point, Panetta and her colleagues started suspecting a cover-up, a pee-gate. You won't break me.
They know now.
I know. If you will, no, not that one. Rumors about P-Gate engulfed the base, including wild conspiracy theories that Panetta herself was the pea sniper, having watered her boots to set up her superiors, kind of like a version of A Few Good Men you'd only find in the water sports section behind the beaded curtain of a video rental store. What?
This author needs an award for creative writing.
Yes.
I want that theory to be true, honestly. You know there's a bunch of privates on that base just like, I swear, I hear he pissed her off at work that day, so she pissed on her own boat. What? That doesn't make any sense.
What are you talking about? Who are you talking about? The pea sniper? Yeah, that one.
Officers claimed that supporting Panetta was met with reprisals, including withheld pay. Wow. All over some urine. Similarly, when a major filed a whistleblower complaint alleging that the base's head of security had been ordered to end the case and destroy the evidence since it pointed at Colonel Navin, he was told to back down. Another officer ordered a meeting to warn the base that soldiers who ask questions aren't honorable, red-blooded Americans. With that kind of authoritarian talk, morale quickly took a nosedive. It wasn't long over some urine. It wasn't long before someone leaked the scandal to the press, which at last prompted a proper investigation from the U.S. Air Force Inspector General's office. And while Panetta never truly got answers, inspectors did establish, quote, a culture of reprisal, or at a minimum, the perception of reprisal in her wing, and forced a disgraced Major General Garrison to step down, hopefully right into a suspiciously wet boot.
This doesn't surprise me at all for many reasons. One is the National Guard.
Yeah.
Two, it's the Air Force.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And
just
three,
gonna-
I've
I'm
seen
just
some
gonna say-
I've seen some drunk generals in my time. So
The fact that this was in last year.
Last year. I didn't hear anything about this.
I didn't either, which I
Yeah.
feel like being on Reddit as often as I am, I would
You
have heard
seen
about
it.
this.
Yeah.
But I love how this
Or
whole
memes or
situation,
something.
this whole situation blew up because these guys just wouldn't admit they like drank too much and peed in their boots.
Well, because when you get to that
I
level,
mean-
that's
Well, I know
You
it's
would've
not
been
something you
screwed.
want to
Yeah,
admit
yeah,
to,
yeah.
but like, can you imagine like going to like a cover-up meeting where like you were part of a cover-up, I was a part of a cover-up.
I'm
What
surprised
was your
they-
cover-up?
alien.
I'm surprised they didn't
yours,
just go, hey,
urine.
private, we'll give you $50,000 to admit
Well,
that
she
you
was
were
a
the
sergeant.
one to.
So yeah. Oh yeah. I see what you're
like,
saying.
I mean,
Yeah,
just essentially
Get a slap on the wrist.
scapegoat.
Yeah,
And,
true. No, that's true. Yeah,
Here's my question:
yeah.
how did she not wake up when someone came into the room and peed on her boots? I'm a pretty
Heavy
light
sleeper.
sleeper. I'm a pretty
She
light
could be a
sleeper.
heavy sleeper.
If
Hard
Dan
day,
suddenly breaks
tough
into my
day.
house and pees on my boots, first of all,
You know what?
Not cool.
You know what? Let's find out if I can do it.
Okay. I'm not going to leave the boots just out for you though.
Okay, good.
You gotta find them.
I gotta.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise it wouldn't be a challenge.
Just see you break into my house drinking like a big gulp. All right, let me see these
I
things.
got my slushy.
I can imagine that going down something like this. It's like, all right. I found the boots. And right next to the boots is a gun with Andy's hand on it.
And I'm like, how you doing?
Sorry, were these your boots?
Go
I was
ahead.
going for your wives. My bad.
He's like, you
they're
said
over
what? He's like, yeah, they're over there.
Go on, I'll help.
They call me the pea sniper.
Pea sniper.
I get
Oh
my target
goodness.
from 1,000 yards out.
Yeah. So
I don't even break into your house. I just look for the open window.
You got to arc it. That's the key.
It's all about the.
oh, that looks like a good article. 4 underreported ways Amazon makes the world worse. Yeah. So those were our cover-ups for today. Some of them very dark. Some of them very yellow. Before we end, tell us your theory about dragons in 2020.
So I last night I watched Reign of Fire which is 2002, 2001.
Into a burning rain of fire.
Anyway, so the entire premise of the movie is that dragons are rediscovered and they basically wipe out humanity, and it's a post-apocalyptic movie. But it turns out the movie takes place in 2020. So dragons, I'm gonna say August. Yeah,
that sounds about
August.
right.
Yeah.
As long as it's after August 4th, which is my birthday.
August 3rd.
You just want to celebrate your birthday.
I just want to
August
How old are you
3rd,
turning?
dragons.
29?
29.
29.
August
I got it
3rd, dragons.
Okay.
And so rapidly that by August 4th, the world is just destroyed.
Can it be rapid enough that I can train
of
one?
fire. What?
Train one? How
No.
to train your alien dragon?
No. There'll be no training alien dragons in this scenario.
That'll be
There will be at our new school.
documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
How to train your alien dragon.
How to train your Serpo dragon.
How to train your alien dragon to pilot weather balloons.
I like it.
That's a great Netflix original.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so those are our lists today. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Where can they find you, Andy?
FRIM the Andy on Instagram and Netflix.
Dan.
Dante producer on Twitter and Instagram, and Siler91 on
Yes.
Twitch. Gary.
You can find me on YouTube at Film Circuit, Twitter at Film Circuit, and Instagram at North Third Films. And then you can find all of us at our new school in New Jersey. I'm serious. I want to do this.
I'm
wanna
defense
make a
against
school.
the monsters teacher.
Defensive. I think Dark Arts. Dark
Well, I
Arts
guess we
sounds
just-
better.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not
I'm
really.
the trapster. I'm going to teach you to make trap spiders your friends.
Spiders, your friend. And I'll decide what I want to do at the school later.
I assume you're headmaster.
Great. I'll be headmaster.
Yeah.
Yes. With
However, you're
with-
not actually the headmaster.
No, yeah,
That's the code for the mind control program.
Yes.
Is the headmaster.
Headmaster.
Yeah, I like it. That's actually pretty solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Thanks
Thank you
for
for watching, and have a good day.